right, here we are, Mike Pearl with his old black book and hairy face, and Jared behind the camera, going to answer some questions I've not yet seen. And Jared, what is the first question?
According to 1 Corinthians 11:3, man is head of woman. I've heard you teach that means only her husband. Then, who is the head of a widow, divorcee, or older unmarried woman who lives outside of her father's house?
I get some undercurrent behind that there. I suspect somebody's been messing with your mind. There is the prevailing belief that Christians teach, some do, that women are secondary to men, that women were created to be ruled over by men. That's false, entirely and altogether false. You engage my wife in a controversial subject and see if she submits to you simply because you're a man. She will not, and she should not. She is an individual and a human being with her own mind and her own thoughts, and she's totally autonomous. And she does not submit to the men in the church, and she does not submit to pastors and leaders, and she doesn't submit to men on the outside beyond their role or authority. For instance, she submits to policemen, and she submits to judges and lawyers, and she submits to banking people that she deals with, and she submits to pastors in their role as a pastor. But as a female, she does not submit any more than I would submit to someone in authority. But when it comes to me, my wife submits to me. The role of submission is not a role for women, it's a role for wives. Say that again. The role of submission in the Bible is not a role for women, as the Muslims teach. It's a role for wives toward their husbands. There's only one man that God requires a woman to submit to, and that man is her husband. So the question is, what about the unmarried girls? Well, obviously a young girl who's still at home is under her father as a child until she is grown, mature, and maybe leaves and becomes independent, working, living in her own house, making her own living. She's no longer under her father then, obviously. She's only under her father if he's clothing her, feeding her, turning the lights out at night, protecting her, guarding her, and disciplining her, and still training her and bringing her up. Then she's under him. When she's not under him, she's not under him. So some Christians teach that a 34-year-old unmarried woman living away from home still should be under the authority of her husband or her father. If she wants to stay at home and do that, that's fine. But once she moves away, she's out from under his authority. That's just a fact of the circumstances. So you say, who does she submit to? She submits to God. She has no submission to a man as such. She's not married. And same thing for a widow or a divorcee. She is on her own, and until she marries, until a widow marries again or a virgin marries, she has no head beyond God. That's the answer to your question.
If you would like to ask a Bible question, email us at biblequestions@nogreaterjoy.org or call at 931-805-4820.